Okay, I guess this is going to be take 2 of my video. I don't know what's going on, but um okay, so here is my September Stashbuster challenge for Dear Julie Julie's September challenge. And the book that I used for the cover came from a book that was actually published in 1898, and I meant to include this somewhere in the book and I forgot, so I'm going to somehow get this into the journal. But for this challenge, we were given 13 different elements that we needed to use to create ephemera. We needed to make 3 ephemera for each of the elements, such as a cardboard box, envelopes, sticker, that kind of thing. So throughout this journal, you'll see those things. So I'm going to go ahead and start because I don't know how much memory I have because something's going on crazy with my phone. So the journal itself is the book, and it originally had a black spine, so I went ahead and did a black spine for it. And I used my regular, I only have 1 roll of bookbinding string, and I just colored it black so that it blended with the outside. My cover plate here is part of the cardboard box challenge, and I used a corrugated cardboard box, some gold glitter paint, some distress ink, my pillowcase that I've been using since the first challenge that I did, a sticker from the antiquarian sticker book, and then I just kind of showcased it using a piece of music paper. And throughout this book, you'll see a lot of distressing. I used a lot of distressing with vintage photo and a little bit of walnut stain, but I also used this. I used vintage photo and I mixed it with water and I sprayed it a lot. So I sprayed it on this to make this color, and I sprayed it on some of the papers, and I'll show you as I go through. So I always put a library pocket on the inside of the cover. So this was made from trash, junk mail. That was the challenge, was to use happy mail, regular mail, or junk mail. This was a DoorDash flyer type thing, and I folded it and made it into like a library pocket. This was made from a ticket, and see where I sprayed it with the ink so that it just wasn't so white. I used a stamp from Happy Mail and my pearls from the Dollar Tree, and then we had to use 5 whole sheets of scrapbook paper. I don't actually own a whole lot of scrapbook paper, but I do hoard it when I do buy it. So it was actually hard to use 5 sheets of scrapbook paper in this, even though this wasn't a children's book. Usually I use a children's book and it's full of illustrations, or an illustrated book, and it's full of illustrations, so I don't use the scrapbook paper. This wasn't full of illustrations, yet I still was, it was hard for me to use scrapbook paper, so it's just weird. I have to get my mind into using the scrapbook paper, and the Dear Julie Julie challenges helped me with that, and they also helped me to use digis, and I used a lot of digis in this. So we had to use 5 full sheets of digis, and I used the Woodland ones that I got for free in the VIP party for last month, and I try to use each month that we have the VIP party, we get a whole set of digitals free, and I try to use it in the following month's journal. So these are the ones I just got for July in August, so I used them in September, and then this month I'll get August's freebies, and then I'll use them in October probably. And so this cutie here was one of the, no it wasn't, she was a sticker, but this here was one of the digis. I used the 3 postcard sheets, and I used, out of my 5, I used 3 postcard sheets and 2 of the same sheet, which was the music. Those were my favorite. Oh, and I used a sheet of collage. So either I used 6 or there are only 2 postcard sheets. I don't know, but I used at least 5 sheets because I used all the postcard sheets, 2 of the music sheets, and 1 of the collage sheets. So that was off the postcard sheets, and that was off the collage sheet. And then This is off of my scrapbook paper, a little bit of leftover lace that I had from another project. And this was my scrapbook paper too on the inside covers. And those were my leftover scrapbook sheets from when I finished the journal. And I used a lot of plain papers in here because I actually planned on just making this before I did the Dear Julie Julie challenge. I was just going to make this into like a plain writer's notebook. And then when I saw the challenge, I was like, you know what? I can use this notebook for that. So this was the sticker challenge. And I guess I just made an embellished sticker because I just glued it straight onto the page. I was going to make it into like a tuck, but I thought it was just beautiful as an embellished sticker. So it's inked, it's glittered, and it has the word added to it. So it's the 3 elements, and I just glued it straight onto this page. This page was sprayed with my distressing spray. And this came out of my favorite insect book. It's the Little Golden Insect book. I use it for my note. I made it into a notebook cover. That's what I used for my notes, and it was my favorite book ever for journal pages, and I wish I could find another one because I would totally buy another one. These are just plain pages. This was a tuck made from a torn book page with a cluster on it, and another Dear Julie Julie Digital. And see, there's some of the music page. And then I just took scraps and made kind of a little collage. A lot of plain pages here. This is my round element. This is a whole circle. And I put it in. So it's a half circle here. And then this was a cluster I made from a mail piece. But I decided to just use it kind of like a little journaling card instead. So all my pieces became something different, I guess. And I put this cute pocket on here, and then that's just a little scrap of scrapbook paper, because the scrapbook paper is thick like cardstock. I thought the leftovers I just cut up into like rectangles and made it into journaling spots. That's just a sticker. We had to use stenciling and stamping throughout, so there's some stenciling. This is out of a coloring book. I love that coloring book too. It was Nature, what's it called? Art of Nature coloring book. Found it at the Goodwill. Most everything I buy is from the Goodwill. This was the roll of paper we had to use. It's a roll of wrapping paper, Dear Julie Julie Digital, an old sheet of book page, another piece of scrapbook paper, and I made this side into a pocket of the circle, the round element, and another Dear Julie Julie Digital here. My light went out. Okay. I like this challenge because I could use anything, and it really, I got to use some of the things that I've been holding on to. This is scrapbook paper on the back of just a photograph that I cut out of a book that I don't even know what book I cut it out of. This is a paper clip. We had to make these last month, and I just fell in love. I made 3 for different challenges. So this was the round challenge paper clip. So I made a round embellished paper clip. And another piece of that insect paper. Love that insect book. I'm about out of paper now. This was like my last sheets that I was hoarding. Went into this. And then on this side is just some scrap paper. This is off that Dear Julie Julie collage sheet. This is some of that scrapbook paper. I thought it just made little good journaling spots. Some more stenciling. This is just an image I printed offline on the back of the music paper, Dear Julie Julie Digital. That's a round element. That was a sticker, but it was for the round because I made a square sticker for the sticker element, but that was for the round element. I just made a little collage sticker or cluster. This is actually a piece of coffee dyed label paper. See? And I stenciled on this side and I stamped on the opposite side so that the journaler can just tear a piece off and decorate with it. This was with my roll of paper. I got that idea from, I think, Pam's Paper Outpost, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just a tuck spot flower. And this is a Dear Julie Julie Digital. And the Wood Nymph's Call was the top of the music paper. Torn book page, I made a pocket. And inside is an envelope. Inside the envelope is a DearJulieJulie Digital. And on the outside of the envelope is a sticker and a cutout of some wings. It was a butterfly and I made it into like a little fairy. This is my trying to think what challenge that was. Strips of paper. I made a belly band, another envelope, another DearJulieJulie inside. There's a lot of journaling space in this. This is a journaling journal here. I left it very, very blank. Another page from that coloring book. Another paper clip. This one was, I think, the sticker, because it's on the base of a sticker. A journaling card, DearJulieJulie. And this was my unusual items. I made a little dangle and I actually attached it to this after the fact. So it's two separate items, but I put them together when I put the journal together. And then just a piece of scrapbook paper. Another belly band made from torn book page. And another DearJulieJulie Digital. And this is the other side of the address labels. See, and at one point I had so many address labels. I think I finally got rid of some of them. So now I don't have near as many. But I still have too many. So I just try to use them. This is a ticket. I made it into a pocket. Another digital. This is it strips of paper? I think that's strip of paper. Made an edge. This is box. That was actually a box from a gift set. If you I covered it, but you can see where like the ingredients is. It's a bath gift set, and I saved it because it was so pretty, and it was the perfect use for it right here. And another stenciling. This is scrapbook paper. We had to use scrapbook paper. That's from the roll of paper. Unusual. That's the original book plate that was in this book, where it was donated to the Montgomery Library Association in 1899. I love to include all of the original things that are in a book. That's why I wanted to include this. If there's original handwriting, which I have some original handwriting, and I wanted to include it too, but I don't know how. I like to include all of the original stuff. See, there's some notes, and there's a whole genealogy in here, and it has handwriting like somebody actually corrected it, and I'd like to include it somewhere, but I don't know where yet. But anyway, DearJulieJulie Digital, my unusual object, and my roll of paper in my scrapbook paper. Oh, that might be what that was. Scrapbook paper. No, scrap paper. No, okay. Okay. No, strips of paper. Okay. Scrap paper. This is actually completely out of my scrap box. It was some scrap paper here, and then my scrap papers from where I cut off papers to go into journals, and I made it into a little notepad. This is my cluster I made for sticker. Square sticker. I made it into a cluster. And then this here is actually just the back of an envelope. I made the envelope into one of these. I made this in the last journal I made too. I just love these little things. And then another DearJulieJulie Digital. And another just extra piece of paper. And I love these window envelopes because you see the little digital peeking out. A scrap paper, no, strip of paper, paper clip. And on the back is my tickets cluster. I glued it to the back after the fact. This is my Happy Mail, I think. Not sure. I think it's the Happy Mail element, because it has the stamp on it. If so, then it's made from a piece of mail. Can't And this is ugly and unusual. So that was a piece of like an old calendar, and I thought it was pretty ugly. So I put it in the background. That's the DearJulieJulie Digital. That's the Woodland music paper, DearJulieJulie Digital. And this was sprayed with the spray. That was sprayed with the spray. That's scrapbook paper. It's right here. And if I missed anything or missaid it, misrepresented it, everything is in the DearJulieJulie group in my photo album and in the individual postings of what actual category each item fit under. So everything is covered here, and I hope you enjoyed my little journal. This is actually like one of my very, very favorites. I think I might actually keep this one. I think I might actually keep this one for myself. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Maybe just for my daily journal, for my prayer journal. I don't know, but I love this one. This was probably my favorite, other than my I don't know, I love them all, but the yeah, my baby journal was one of my favorites. This one, and probably the artsy one that I did my very first DearJulieJulie challenge was like my favorite. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you see me next time. I'm hoping to get some more stuff done and out of my way before the October challenge comes up. But if not, I'll see you in October.